All righty. Hope you guys are doing well. Crazy things going on right now, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to keep moving on. I know this is a government class, but let's refrain from it, right? Let's just, you already know what's going on. You see it on social media, you see it on the news, and I want to make this an outlet where we can almost get away with it, get away from it, and I just want to feel comfortable about what we're talking about and discussing. So, yeah, let's keep moving. I know we like to talk about current events, but yeah, let's stay away from that stuff. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So, real quick, I want to go over the activity from 2 days ago. So, freedom of the press, I believe I have it at. Yes. No. Tuesday. Here it is. Okay, good. So, again, vocab is due tomorrow. Please post the vocab terms tomorrow, not on to the Tuesday's assignment, not on yesterday's assignment. Wait until Friday, tomorrow, January 8th, to post those vocab terms. Okay, I want to make sure that I have that ready to go for that. And also bell ringers. Bell ringers are due tomorrow. So wait till tomorrow's bell ringer, right, to post those bell ringers along with the vocab. All right, so real quick. I saw a lot of people copying, pasting answers from Google. I mean, it just looked like you just took the question and copy and paste it, and whatever answer came up, that's good enough. No, don't do that. You're not receiving credit if you do that. Like that's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't understand how we can just it's opinionated answer. Just think about the lesson that I went over and answer the question to your opinion. I don't know where this easy way of just copying, pasting, and just, oh, Google said this. No, we're not doing that. Okay. So you're not receiving credit if you continue to do this. All right. After that spiel, one, in what kinds of situations do you think it might be reasonable to consider censoring information or opinions? All right. So with this, I mean, yeah, you can relate it to whatever's going on today. I mean, especially, but with this, with opinions and information, I know during wartime, especially, they try to keep the peace, to try to keep any type of violent protest from happening. This is something that is a way to try to monitor and restrict any type of, I guess you could say, information or communication that might incite danger or any type of hostility, right? So the clear and present danger test, which we talked about, how does that, does this information or does this opinion, does this sort of task try to incite danger or any type of hostility? Right. And we talked about, with the Vietnam War, okay, and in that in particular, how this information might cause or incite riots depending on the, I guess you say, the velocity of that information, how this is trying to target a group or target a certain action to be done. Two, why would a judge bar the press from a courtroom or have a jury sequestered? Well, a lot of this is because of the information, again, of the courtroom, the court case, how this might affect the community, how the press might be involved to a point where it's going to change the results of a said court case. And in many cases, this has been done. So, especially with pictures being taken, if reporters are in the courtroom, this might cause I guess you could say, a bump in the road, especially for a courtroom, and people might not be focused. People might not be able to present the information they would like. If you constantly hear boos going on or people objecting to a certain information that is presented or evidence, right? And this could really cause an issue to the courtroom and break any type of thoughts or, I could say, progress of mentality of communication to the judge, right? And then jury being sequestered. Again, this might be a way of trying to prevent any type of jury from giving out information about a sensitive court decision or a sensitive court information, or trying to make sure that people are giving up that say or are giving some sort of evidence that is supposed to be, again, sensitive, that might cause a violent uproar to happen outside the courtroom. And that's why a judge might bar the press of the courtroom or a jury be sequestered. Right? So obviously this information can't be hidden forever, right? So after the court case is already decided, then that information will be given to the public, right? And this is a way to try to prevent any type of violent uprising or protest. All right, guys, there you go. That is the information. I forgot to go over it yesterday. I just want to go over it with you now. All right, so press issues. I didn't go over anything yesterday with that. So again, I talked about the FCC, how with broadcasting, with emails, with television, with information on social media, the founding fathers had no idea that this would ever come about. Right? The founding fathers had no clue that this would ever be an issue. Right? So with the bell ringer today, obviously with technology, right? So describe why the FCC was created. Do you think there should be more limitations and restrictions on social media, television, emails, and radio broadcasts than in newspapers, magazines, and books, and posters, things like that, throughout community centers or places where people travel regularly? All right, so I'll give you a few seconds. Pause the video, write down your response, and I'm going to go over it with you. All right, so the FCC. All right, so this is a way to try to communicate with. Here, I'll just bring up the PowerPoint for you so we can just walk through it together. So the FCC, Federal Communication Commissions, this is a way to try to monitor broadcast, television, social media, emails, and obviously they can't take away your full freedom of speech. But in many cases, there might be policies set, especially where you work. There might be policies set up where you're trying to get a job or an organization that you're involved with that is trying to block out any obscenity, any type of questionable information that you're presenting to others, right? This might be in a form of pictures, videos, the way you word things in sentences, right? And if there's any way of inciting any type of danger or being detrimental to the character of that said building, like school district, right? Or business, organization, whatever it might be, there's policies set out to try to avoid that, to bring a bad name to that school, organization, business, okay? And with the FCC, especially with radio broadcast, television, movies, right, this is their way of monitoring that sort of information. And throughout the 50s, especially, this Red Scare, this communist idea, right, where there might be a takeover. This was always a concern for many Americans, for many people, that eventually this could happen. That that media is trying to project this onto the people and persuade them towards a certain direction, to incite danger, to incite hostility, to be a takeover of industries and factories, right? The proletariat, and how that might be, and a bourgeoisie, right? And how that might be a full rebellion and hostile takeover. And that's something that the FCC is trying to regulate. Obviously, it was created, and the founding fathers had no idea that this would be a way of presenting information through internet, right? Through movies, through emails, right? They had no idea that technology would be as what it is today. They had no clue. They might have had an idea that, hey, things might advance through the next coming years, hundreds of years, and obviously that was always a thought, but they had no clue that this would ever be a thing. So yeah, it's expanding from newspapers, books, publications, articles, pamphlets, mail, right? And it expands to digitally, like how people communicate through social media, on phones. And this is something interesting that obviously had to be created to try to keep the peace amongst the people. And now more than ever, right? Twitter, social media, obviously with Instagram, TikTok, is a way for people to express themselves and their opinions about political matters, might be economic matters, religious matters, for that being, and how to regulate these types of things. And you see it constantly on Twitter, fact checkers, right? You see people, even their posts being taken down by these organizations because it breaks their policies, breaks their code. And before you sign up for any types of social media, they have codes and policies being established. If you break these certain guidelines, then your post could be taken down. And you sign up for it. You sign that agreement. And that's how they have the ability to do that sort of thing. And now more than ever, let's face it, there's scrutinies, there's people arguing with the fact of these posts being taken down. And if it breaks their policy, they have the ability to take these posts down. And it's not infringing against your freedom of speech. It goes against their policy, and that's what they established. That's what you signed up for before. And with political matters especially, many people argue that they're shifting to one side or the other, right? Who knows? But it's just, again, policies established to protect the peace, protect any type of hostility that might occur online. All right, so that's the FCC, and that's how broadcasting, the press, is being used, especially with these new forms of technology to reach out to people. And now I'd like you guys to work on this activity that I have. It is really just going over Chapter 13, Section 4. I know there's a lot of information there with the press and how this is presented to people and how freedoms are limited in these certain matters. So I'd like you to work on that, turn that in for tomorrow, and that's it for today. Take care, guys. Again, vocab bell ringers will be due tomorrow. I'll post those on the assignment for tomorrow. See you guys. Have a good one.